Hey everyone, Stan Heller here with VectorVest Canada. Have you ever heard the phrase, the past is prologue? It was coined by William Shakespeare in his play The Tempest. In stock trading, it means stocks that have performed exceptionally well in the past are likely to deliver the same great results in the future. So how can we find these top price gainers? Well, in VectorVest, we have a tool called the Delta, and we can use our Delta search tool to easily find stocks that say have an average gain of 40% per year or 20%, whatever we choose, and we can look back over 10 years, 5 years, or any other period that we choose as well. So today I'm going to show you that, but before I do, a quick risk disclaimer. There is risk in investing, and everything you will see and hear in this video is for educational purposes only, should never be considered as investment advice. So what I'm going to do is show you step by step how to create the search just like this. We'll do a 10-year, 5-year, and a 2-year, and I'm going to start with the US software. So let me just take off the webcam and move over the VectorVest 7 software here. And I've gone from the home page. I left click on the Unisearch tab at the top, and it opens with a blank slate of criteria for me. First thing I want to do is create a group where I'm going to save my searches. It's like our master folder, just like a filing cabinet. So here I'll left click on the drop down arrow beside the page at the top left and click on New Group. And I can give that group a name, and we'll just call it Top Price Gainers. There we go. And click on Add. So I've got my group down at the bottom of the control panel here. I can go ahead and create my search. So I'm going to set up my search criteria under Parameter, left click. And when I'm choosing a delta operator, I'm going to choose Stocks Price Volume Split Adjusted. Just open that up a little bit. And under the operator then I can left click on Delta, and that's my operator. So that looks at price from point A to point B over the time frame or period that we're going to select now. So under Value, left click again. I want to choose a specific time. So I can click now on the date calendar, and it opens up a new dialog box. I want to click on month and year, so that allows me to just left click the left arrow and quickly get all the way back to 2011. And I'll go to April and 21 and click OK. Under the display only, I'm going to choose sorted and descending. So I'm going to be sorting the results, the net gain over 10 years, descending. And notice currently the sort is the default VST descending, value safety timing, which is a good place to go, but I want those to see those net results and sort them that way. So I'll click on OK, and you'll notice it changes the sort up at the top, and I'm all set. So this will give me the net gainers over 10 years, but what I want to do is make sure that I have only those stocks that have gained an average of 40% per year all the way through those 10 years. So I'm going to add one more line of criteria: Stocks, Price Volume, Split Adjusted. Once again, it's a delta operator that we're looking for. I'm going to select the same date, so I follow that same process. Go back 10 years, April 21. And this time I'm going to choose greater than, and you could choose greater than or equal to. I just chose greater than, and it's going to be 40% per year for 10 years. So 10 times 40 is 400, and I'll click on OK. And then finally, I could put in price and volume criteria, but what I'm going to do instead is come to the stock watch list feature and select stocks from two excellent watch lists. So stocks, filter by, watch list, equal to, and then when I click in the value box, notice I can choose my watch lists, and I can choose as many as I like. I'm going to choose 2. I'll click on the plus sign beside S&P watch lists and select S&P 100. And then I'll choose under special watch lists, the NASDAQ 100. So those are 2 watch lists of very robust stocks, so I don't have to worry about minimum price and volume. I'm just only going to find stocks in these 2 watch lists that have also gained 40% per year or 400% over 10 years. So now I can run the search, and I just see that I want to make sure I select all here, and I'll run it again. And so now I've got all my stocks. If I do a quick test, a function in VectorVest, I can just see that there's 55 stocks that met the criteria. And you can see the price deltas are here. So divide them by 10 and you've got your annualized rates of return since we selected 10 years. And Lilly is here at the bottom as of April 30th. Let's just go to the last Friday and run the search again. And now we've got ACN as our last stock in the list, and Lilly is just a little bit better, so obviously lost some ground over the last little week or so. So let's go ahead and save these searches into a folder here. So I've got my top price gainers folder, and again, that's just by left clicking on the new group. I do want to have a master folder. It's like a filing cabinet. And now when I click on new search, oops, let me cancel that. Sorry, when I click on save as, I've already got the search, so I'll click on save as, and I'll bring it over here. I want to make sure that I've got that folder selected, so top price gainers is where we are going to put this search, and we'll put in top 10-year price gainers. And I'll make sure I select long since it's a long search, and I'll click OK. Again, my master folder is where it's going to go. And you can see the up arrow in green shows me that this is a long search. And so I've got that first search set up. I'm going to put these stocks into a watch list. I'll show you how to do that. Just left click on the top stock in the list. Bring your slider bar all the way down to the bottom here at the right. Hold the shift key down and left click on the bottom stock. And that highlights them all, so I can now right click and add to watch list is right here. And it brings up a new dialog box. And once again, I want to create a master folder for this group of stocks. So I'll just click on the down arrow and click on new group and give it a name. And we'll just call it top price gainers. Click on add, brings it down to the bottom. So that's my master folder, and I just come up to the arrow again, click on new watch list, so that'll be my subfolder under that group. And top 10-year price gainers. Okay, I could describe it in here if I like, but I'll just click on add. There's my subfolder. These are the 55 stocks. You can see the count here at the top, and I click OK. And I've got my first watch list created. So from there, I'm going to create a new search for the 5-year price gainers that have also achieved 40% per year. 5 times 40 is 200% net that I'm going to require. So the only line that I really have to change is under the value here. And I'm going to make this 200%. And I'll change the time, specific time, make it a 5-year look back period. Click on the month and year. Now I can go forward 5 years to 2016, April, and I can click on 22. April 22nd, greater than 200% or 40% per year. Click on OK. I do need to change the date up at the top and make it a 5-year look back for that one as well. And I'll go rather quickly here, but with the recording in YouTube, you can pause, fast forward, rewind, and just follow the steps and set it up the way you like, or modify it to suit your investment style and goals. At the end of this exercise, I think you'll be able to see a very strong, robust list of stocks, and that's the goal that we set out in this exercise. All right, so everything else is the same. And now I just want to save this search, the new search. I'll run it first, I guess. And now we see some different stocks up at the top, although Tesla's right in there once again over the 5 years. Very strong gains there. So now we just come up and click on the save icon again, save as. Opens up a new dialog box, and this one we're just going to make it a 5-year. So we just type it in and change it long, make sure we're in the right folder, the top price gainers, and click OK. So now I've got 10-year and 5-year. All right, so that's all set. And I use the same watch list filter. So now I'm going to just do my last one here. Actually, I want to run that search again. I want to make sure I select top all. I'll run the top 5 years search, and I'll save these stocks to a watch list as well. Same process. Click on the top one, hold the shift key, click on the bottom one, right click, add to watch list. It remembers that this is the folder we're working with, so I just need to create a new watch list. And this will be the top 5-year price gainers to be consistent in our naming. And there's 44 items that are going to go into this list. Click OK. We've got 2 great watch lists all set up now. 10-year, 40% annualized return winners, and 5-year as well. So let's do the last one. We're going to do the 2-year. And this time for the watch list, we're going to select stocks that are in the 2 watch lists that we just created. So first thing we want to do is change the date. And we'll make this, again, a 2-year look back period. So I'll bring this to April 23rd, 2019. Click on OK. Everything else is the same. Now here, because we're looking at 2 years, 2 years times 40% per year is 80. So instead of 200, I'm going to make this 80, which will be 40% per year. And for the time, change our date again, April 23rd, and click OK. And this time for the stock watch lists, I'm going to select stocks that are either in the 10-year price gainers watch list that we just created or the 5-year price gainers watch list. So we're really going to be getting the best of the best here. So I'll just remove the watch list that we had currently, and I'll come down to our top price gainers and make sure we select 10-year and 5-year. Put them in the same line, which means that we're going to find stocks that are in one watch list or the other. If I put one of them here and a second one, stock watch list equal, and then the second list here, then they would have to be in both watch lists to show up in our search results. So I'm just looking for ones that either are the 10-year group or the 5-year group. Run the search. And if I do a quick test, I can see that we've got 34 stocks that met that criteria. And I just want to save this search as well, so I'll go Save As. Brings up a new dialog box. And this is going to be top 2-year price gainers. I want to make sure I've got the right folder created here, so I'll highlight it and make sure it's long and click OK. So that's my third search, and I'll save these stocks, put them in that watch list, and we just need to create a new watch list under that master folder. Create a new watch list. Top 2-year price gainers. So this is really the best of the best, isn't it? Stocks that have been consistent all the way through. Click on Add. There's my 2-year price gainers. Click on OK. And so when I go to the Viewers tab, and it remembers what I want to look at, the top 2-year price gainers. Now I can analyze the stocks using VectorVest indicators, the value, whether it's undervalued or overvalued, RV, the upside potential, relative safety, how well has the stock grown its earnings and how consistent are the earnings, how safe is the stock, and then relative timing tells me whether the stock is currently in an uptrend. And now that I've got these stocks, I can track them in a watch list and only buy the ones that are in a new uptrend or receiving a new buy rating from VectorVest. I can come down to the bottom row and right click and view the watch list average graph. And so for the last year, this portfolio or basket of stocks has increased quite nicely, and there's the earnings per share, which we can also plot on the graph. If I go back over 10 years, we see a very steady growth in earnings per share, very steady growth in price among these stocks. So this is the kind of stock that has the potential, if the past is Prologue, these stocks have the potential to have some outstanding or outsized gains going forward. And if you look at the individual graphs, you can see the buying opportunities as they come up. There's AMAT, terrific earnings, price rising. This green line, thin green line, is the value. So that one was undervalued. This one, the value is rising as long earnings. And that's what we're looking for. This is excellent here. Undervalued, rising in price, rising earnings. That's what we're looking for. All right, so that's the exercise for the US side. And again, you can change and modify your lists or your criteria as you like. You could stick with just the 10-year look-back period. That's going to give you a few more stocks with excellent returns, or just stick to a 5-year. Again, we looked here and there were 44 stocks that met that criteria. So you've got a great list of stocks there. Quickly on the Canadian side, I'll move over there into the software. And I've already got these searches created, and I'm just going to show them to you. So I could set up the searches exactly the same way. I wanted to give you a little bit of variety here. So when I look at the top price gainers and the 10-year in Canada, to get more stocks returned, I did go to a 20% annualized rate of return over 10 years, 5 years, and the 2 years, following the exact same process. We don't have robust, watch lists or groups of stocks in the same way, but this is a pretty good list under the TSX folder, looking for the TSX 30 stocks, which is a list of really strong price gainers over 2 years. The TSX 60, a benchmark for some of the best stocks in the TSX composite. And then I selected the TSX composite index itself and the TSX venture. Everything else is looking very much the same, so you know how to set these sorts up for the delta sort and the date time frame. I did add a couple of criteria here, which you can try. Stock price actual this time. So stocks, price volume, price actual. I don't need the delta here. I want to see an actual $2 price tag. And then under the operator, selecting greater than or equal to, and I selected $2. But here's a little bit of a change. Under the date and time, instead of selecting time of search, I want to go back to the 10-year look back period of 4/21/11. So I select the date time, click in the box, and here I'm going to choose custom date and time, and it opens up a dialog box for me. I go specific, and then I set up my date exactly like we did with the delta searches. And just bring it back. Well, it's already there, isn't it? 21 April and 23rd. I can select here and click OK. And then I do the same here for the volume, and I select stocks, price volume, 50-day average volume, greater than or equal to, and the custom value, I just type in 50,000 average volume. So what that is doing is setting up this criteria 10 years ago so that we're getting stocks that had fairly robust criteria 10 years ago as our starting point. So I kind of like that feature. And just if I run the 10-year stocks, you can see if I quick test them, there's 35 stocks that met the criteria. So again, you're getting a few fewer stocks in this process. And at the end, when I have my watch lists, we wind up with 34 stocks in the 2-year group, combining the 5-year performers with the 10-year, and then looking at a 2-year annualized rate of return of 20% per year. And if I view that watch list average graph, you can see the earnings rising nicely on a 1-year basis, 5-year basis, and a 10-year basis. And that's what we're looking for. Price rising beautifully, and 10-year. So just a different look. You can certainly do this with the 40% annualized rate of return and not worrying about the price volume indicators, and you'll get a good list from that. But this just brings it down to some very recognizable names: Dollarama, Ballard Power, Canadian Pacific Railway, Magna, CGI. Just some very recognizable names: Algonquin, Linamar, TMX Group, Intact, and you can right click and have a look at these graphs. I mean, that's just about ideal. So it's a great way to find these strong stocks. There's the COVID collapse right here, but other than that, just steady performance, price, and earnings per share. So I hope this is helpful to you or interesting. We've seen some really great looking stocks here, and you can create these lists quite easily in VectorVest, change, modify the criteria, and save your searches, save your watch lists, and you've got a great mechanism for finding the best performers over any period of time and expect them to do well going forward. So thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in the next video.